For Governor John Casey. Rand Paul.
All right. Thank you guys very much. My name is Steve Sanderson, a member of Veterans for Rand Paul. Proudly out here to speak for Rand Paul, and I'm also proud to bring my wife, who's from Venezuela, just brand new to the United States. We've only been here for a year, so this is her first time to see an example of American politics and the great republic that we have. So this is a really great experience for her and for myself. Ted Cruz isn't here. He doesn't show up to a lot of things. He also missed in the Fed vote that was sponsored by Rand Paul, so that was unfortunate. It looks like his priorities are not always where they should be. Rand Paul, I want to talk about a few things. In 2008, I was deployed to Afghanistan, and before that, I wasn't very interested in politics. Didn't have very many principles that I thought about as far as the political spectrum, Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, or whatever. During my time in Afghanistan, I really started to focus on liberty and what liberty meant to me. We can all have positions that we agree on and that we disagree on, but I think all of us get back here and we agree on the principle of liberty. And our Constitution and what our founding fathers really determined what this country should be based off of and how we should move forward. In fact, our republic and our Constitution was so great that Simón Bolívar in Venezuela, when they developed Gran Colombia, he modeled their Constitution after ours. That's how great our Constitution, our republic is. Now we are in a time where our Constitution doesn't mean much anymore with this current administration. We have with immigration, with gun laws, with bombing ISIS, with going into and regime change. I am a very strong pro-military, as you can tell. I just got out of the military in 2010. Still probably wear my deployment cap. I believe that a strong military and a strong defense is key to our survival. And so does Rand Paul. But he believes that we must follow the Constitution, and we cannot exercise our authority with military action overseas without doing one thing first, and that's going to the Congress and getting a declaration of war. Now, to prove that, Senator Rand Paul last year proposed a declaration of war against ISIS. It's gone nowhere. No one in government did anything. The president hasn't listened. The president hasn't come around and supported that. People in Congress haven't supported that. Rand Paul did. I know there's a misperception with Rand Paul that he's an isolationist. Well, that's not true. He does believe that we should have action out against ISIS. Airstrikes, special forces, Delta Force, but we need a declaration of war. He also believes that regime change is not the answer. Look at Libya, even unfortunately with Iraq, and a lot of our brothers and sisters in Iraq, and what's happening now. We pulled out and we have a situation with ISIS. So number one principle, defense. Defense with the Constitution in mind. Second one is I'm very pro-life, and so is Senator Rand Paul. One of the biggest things I look into a candidate is being pro-life. You cannot have liberty without respecting the least amongst us. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness does not start when we're 10 years old. It starts at conception. Rand Paul just recently introduced a bill, Life Starts at Conception Act. We'll see if it gets anywhere. We'll see if it gets on the calendar. It applies 14th Amendment rights to the unborn. Of course, is it going to pass? I don't know. But with people like us in this room, who we all cherish life, I hope it will. I just want to read a little quote from Mother Teresa. She goes, "I feel the greatest destroyer of peace today is abortion, because it's the war against the child. And when we have that war against the child, we cannot have peace with ourselves. So I do want a candidate, and I do want a president that respects that right to life, that respects the unborn." Now finally, Second Amendment rights. Rand Paul is a believer and a strong supporter of all of the Bill of Rights. He thinks the Second Amendment is just as powerful as the Fourth Amendment, as the Fifth Amendment. You know, he stood 21 hours filibustering the NSA bill, because he doesn't believe that the NSA has the right to look at your emails and listen to your phone calls. He also believes the Second Amendment right is very important, and he introduced legislation called Defend DC Act. And what it does, it gives right to concealed carry in Washington, D.C. Not only will that right apply to the citizens of Washington, D.C., but it also applies to any member of the United States of America that carries a concealed carry permit to go into D.C. with a concealed carry. Rand Paul believes that to fight ISIS in our homeland, we need an armed citizenry here. Why do you think the Japanese did not invade the homeland of the United States of America? We were heavily armed, and they didn't. Last thing I'd like to say, again, thank you guys all for coming out. I really appreciate the opportunity to stand up here and speak for Rand Paul. In summary, I just want to say my whole entire adult life, my whole entire adult life, I've really stood and loved the idea of this country. I stand for liberty. I stood for liberty 12 months in Afghanistan, 12 years in uniform, and now I stand for liberty with Rand Paul, and I would really appreciate if you guys stood with me tonight. So thank you very much.